be right wing. I don't know what their politics may fall into right wing.
Okay, I got you.
Let's do the Jelly Roll thing. Because, I mean, same thing with Jelly Roll. Like, I honestly don't know if he's right wing or left wing. I do believe he's somebody who truly believes in God.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think it matters. He's a man of God. You know, and I think by default, that means he's not a leftist.
Well, also, too, what Jelly Roll is going to say, I don't think that clip played it, but Bad Bunny actually started his speech with, and it was a very subtle thing, but he started his speech with, before I thank God, I want to say ice out. Like he was almost saying that this is that important to him. It's more important than God. Yes. So then to that like point, it's almost like, okay, so that's the problem with, even if you're a lefty and you do claim to be a Christian or you do claim to believe in God, eventually your politics will push you to make that choice.
Yeah.
What's more important to you? Political policy or God? And you'll see the fake ones will go, political policy.
Mm-hmm.
So here's Jelly Roll. Again, and I'm not even a big fan of Jelly Roll or his music or anything. I thought he sucked in wrestling. So I have no like dog in the fight as far as that goes, but I gotta say I respect what he did here, because he even starts it by like, in a way of like, he knows this is something that could get him, you know, not necessarily canceled, but maybe never win another Grammy, because we know how political the Grammys are.
I don't think he's ever gonna win another one.
But I gotta respect that, in that obviously winning a Grammy meant something to him. And you could say whatever you want about that, but he is a musician.
I think that means, for any musician who's really like there in their craft, it means a lot.
It means a lot.
Yeah.
To win an award, period, for your music.
Yeah, but nigga, if I was an artist and you were like, you want a Grammy or a BET award, nigga, I'm taking a Grammy.
Of course.
You know
of course.
Like, fuck that little star, the fucking comet.
But let's say you're just on the way up and some like city goes like, hey, we want to give you an award. Key to the city, just because we love your song or whatever.
I would, yes.
You'd be honored.
I would love to, yes.
Yeah, so Grammy means something to some people. And it's beyond the politics of it. My point being is that he's willing to put all that on the line because he's going to make a proclamation here.
His faith is more important.
Way more important to him.
I know they're going to try to kick me off here, so just let me try to get this out. First of all, Jesus, I hear you and I'm listening, Lord. I am listening, Lord. Second of all, I want to thank my beautiful wife. I would have never changed my life without you. I'd have ended up dead or in jail. I'd have killed myself if it wasn't for you and Jesus. I thank you for that. I thank you for my label, Broken Bow, Country Radio, baby. What's up, dog? Oh, Republic, John Manili, we did it, baby. There was a time in my life, y'all, that I was broken. That's why I wrote this album. I didn't think I had a chance, y'all. There was days that I thought the darkest things. I was a horrible human. There was a moment in my life that all I had was a Bible this big and a radio the same size and a 6x8 foot cell. And I believed that those two things could change my life. I believed that music had the power to change my life and God had the power to change my life. And I want to tell y'all right now, Jesus is for everybody. Jesus is not owned by one political party. Jesus is not owned by no music label. Jesus is Jesus, and anybody can have a relationship with him. I love you, Lord.
It's just annoying to me because had he had said fuck ICE, the applaud would have been louder. That's all. Like everything Billie Eilish said was nowhere near as important, but she got a crazy pop for that one sentence. You know what I mean?
Well, you notice too, once he's praising Jesus, like it's like, if he were to even just say fuck ICE, it would be like, all right, bro, what are you doing there?
Yeah, you couldn't say that. Right?
Now, here's another part of it that you gotta see, is he's praising Jesus and he becomes the most humble man in the room when he goes, I was a horrible person.
I was a horrible human being.
I thought I was a horrible human being, and he's like, even like a part of him was like, I still am, but he's like, he found Jesus and that changed his life. Like that's a whole different thing of like where you see these people who they all go up there on their fucking high horse and they act like they're better than everybody, and they tell us who actually have to deal with the illegal immigrant problem while they sit in their fucking gated communities and have their armed security and shit. We have to deal with the real issues and the crime and the gangs and all the fucking problems. But they sit on their high horse and act like they're better than us because they say fuck ICE. But then a man of Jesus comes in and goes, I was a horrible human being. And I'm not going to sit here and disparage anybody, really. Even political parties.
Even political parties, yeah.
Jesus is not for specific political parties. Now, the thing that I may disagree with him a little bit on that is, well, I agree with you in the grand scheme of things. A Democrat could believe in Jesus. I'm not going to say that's not possible. However, the party itself has definitely made it, because he starts it with, just let me get this out. I know I'm going to get cut off here. Because he even knows.
That's the Democrat Party.
That's the Democratic Party and the liberals that don't want to hear that.
Okay, yeah, I agree with you.
They've separated themselves from Jesus Christ and Christianity. They're literally storming into churches at this point and protesting churches for no fucking reason. But let me hear what you got to say.
I think what he meant by that was because he said Jesus is for everybody. There's no political lines.
Yes.
So even if you are a Democrat, if you open up your heart enough, then you can also accept Jesus Christ as your Lord or Savior. And I think by default that's going to make you switch parties.
You know what, Skrill? You almost, in that one little sentence, you almost just turned me completely. Like, I think you may be right in that. Don't be incredulous to the idea of Jesus or even the ethics of Jesus just because you're a part of the Democratic Party.
Just because you're a part of the Democratic Party. If you allow that to change your mind, then you will then see the Democratic Party for the evilness that it is and turn from your ways.
Now, that's the thing. You could call it, Jelly Roll being naive in that situation, but I think that is part of Christianity. There is a level of naivete that you have to go into things with. Thank you. Of anybody can come to Jesus. You can go and talk to a serial killer, and it could be naive to think that I'm going to go in there and change his heart, but it could happen. It's happened.
It's happened. And who are we to say that when that serial killer, of course he did horrible things while he was here, but if he believed in his heart that he was forgiven and he truly repented, that's not for us to say whether or not he's going to get into heaven. That's God. That's between him and God when he has that conversation.
Let me tell you something. When I used to do Christian rap, my favorite shows, we used to go to homeless shelters and do shows. And we would have homeless, cracked out motherfuckers coming up to us and finding Jesus in tears, repenting. You know what I mean? And it wasn't just us. It was like a whole show that a bunch of people, we would see that happen. And to me, me and my friends would always talk about, because we did big shows, 500 people. I think one show we did was like 1,000 people or something. We did big shows, bro.
Big shows, wow.
And those were always in front of churches. And me and my friends that were part of that group, we always say the best shows were those homeless shelters. Because we were preaching to the people that Jesus would be preaching to.
The people that needed it the most.
That to me meant more than anything, of like having I always remember this homeless crackhead. It was this black lesbian crackhead. She had the short hair and she had no teeth and she was just in tears, just repenting. And I was like, oh my God, that's what it's all about. This is different. You know what I mean? So my point is, Jelly Roll is in a room full of Satanists for the most part.
For the most part, yep.
Preaching to them. Guaranteed that means more to him as a Christian than anything else he's done. Even if he reaches one Satanist in that room.
Oh, that's a win.
That's a win. Absolute win. So I'm just saying, like, Christians were against the odds, and it feels frustrating sometimes. And that's the thing we have to remember, is this is not supposed to be easy. Bringing people to God is not easy.
It's one of the hardest things to do.
And you got to go sometimes into the depths of hell to bring somebody out of that. Just like, don't be so guarded in life. Like, have faith in what you're, in your walk with Jesus, but like also sometimes you got to go down there and pull people up. I'm not saying be like them or act like them. That's what Jelly Roll's doing. He's not acting like them.
Right, but he's not there.
He's going in the Bad Bunny thing with the whole love and hate and all this and that. I saw way more love coming off of Jelly Roll than I saw Bad Bunny. There was an air of hate coming from Bad Bunny.
It might have been the vest was too tight.
It could be, my friend.
Could be.
But I just wanted to put that out there. I think Jelly Roll made a really important stand.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that was a good wrap up.